We've already set up Git locally and added committed files. The next step is to create a remote GitHub repository. Head over to github.com and create an account or sign in. Once you've done that, go ahead and click on your repositories. We're going to select New. Give your repository a name and select Create Repository. Awesome. That's how easy it is to create a new repository on GitHub. Now we just need to link it with our local repository. Since we want to push an existing repository, we're going to use these commands: git remote add origin and git push to origin master. You only need to do this step once when you initially link your local repository with the remote repository. Note, the URL you'll be using is your specific GitHub repository URL. Go ahead and click this button to add the commands to your clipboard. All right, now let's go back to terminal and add the commands. Awesome, it looks like we've successfully linked our local repository to our remote repository. Let's go to GitHub and see if that's true. Back in GitHub, you'll need to refresh. Okay, take a look. We can see that all our files are here, including our .git attributes and .gitignore files that we added. We've now pushed from our local repository to our remote repository. Let's add a file in our remote repository and then pull it down to sync with our local repository. Go ahead and click Add README. We'll type a short message in our read. Then go down and add a quick comment to your commit. Next, click Commit New File. Head back to terminal, clear some space. In order to get the changes we made remotely onto our local repository, we're going to use the command called git pull. You can see here that there's been a file added, and that's the README file. Let's type Git Status to get some more info. Looks like everything with our repository is up to date. I'm going to use the command ls to list all the files in the directory. In this case, I don't have to use the -a because the README file isn't a hidden file. We've proven that we can pull changes down from our remote repository into our local repository. Let's see if we can do the reverse by making a change in our local repository and pushing it to our remote repository. Let's go ahead and make that change in our README file. Use the command open README to open that file. Okay, you can see it says hello world. Let's make a change. Go ahead and click Command S to save the change and Command W to close that. Now we'll use the commands git add space period to stage the file. And if I run git status, I can see that there's been one file modified, the README file. Let's use git commit -m. We'll type a little message to ourselves, changed README, and click enter to commit. The final thing we need to do to push it is run git push. Okay, let's head back to GitHub to see if we can see the changes there. Back in GitHub, you'll need to refresh your page. And then let's open the README. Cool, we can see the changes that we made locally. So now we can communicate back and forth from our local and our remote.